Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, GHA family and friends. We are back with another 6th grade homework helper. So today we'll be doing lesson 22, problem set. So these are from the lesson 22, getting the job done, speed, work, and measurement units. Okay, so our problem set starts off. We're going to be saying if Adam's plane traveled at a constant speed of 375 miles per hour for 6 hours, how far did the plane travel? So we have to remember our equations, which is distance, rate, and time. Okay, distance, rate, and time. I'm going to write these at the top. Distance, rate, and time. Okay. All right. So with this entire problem set, you are going to either be multiplying or dividing distance, rate, and time. Okay. So let's look at number 1. It says again, if Adam's plane traveled at a constant speed of 375 miles per hour for 6 hours, how far did the plane travel? So we do not know the distance. So we're going to put equals so we can have our distance here. That's what we're trying to find. Okay. All right. So they give us the rate and the time. So if we need that, if we have the rate and the time, it looks like this. Okay. Whenever we see a number next to a letter, we multiply. Okay. And whenever we see a letter next to a letter, we multiply. These letters are called variables. Okay. So when I ask you what variable stands for T, we'll say time. For R, we'll say rate, and for D is distance. See that? Okay. So if to find the distance or how far one went, we use distance equals rate time. D equals R times T, okay? So they don't give us the distance, but they give us the rate. What is the rate? The rate is 375 miles, okay, per hour, okay? And then they give us the time, which is how many hours? 6 hours. So we're going to multiply our rate and our time. So D equals, what is our rate? It was 375 miles. Okay. So if you want to shorten up miles, just put MI. Okay. All right. So 375 miles. And we're going to put it over 1 hour because that's our rate. You have to put your units every single time. So 375 miles over 1 hour because they give us our rate. And they also give us what? The time. The time was how many hours? It was 6 hours. Should be right there in your question. So we go ahead and put hours here. All right. So do we have anything in common? Yes, we do. Do you see anything in our equation right here that's in common? Yes, you do. You see hours. So we can go ahead and cancel those out, okay? So if we read the problem from left to right, we have 375 times 6, okay? So I'm going to get rid of this, all right? Make sure you have it, because now I'm going to show you what to do with those numbers, okay? So let's take our 375. And multiply it by 6. So 375, and we're multiplying by 6, correct? All right, 6 times 5 is 30, and we carry our 3. 6 times 7 is going to be 42, plus 3 gives us 45, and we carry our 4. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 4 leaves us with 22. We have nowhere to carry, so we put our whole 22 down. And we start from right to left, counting 3 digits. 1, 2, 3, comma. So our answer here is 2,250 miles in 6 hours, okay? So these are story problems. So what do we need? A complete sentence, okay? So we take our hours. Always put your units so that you can keep up. All right? So this is how far he went in miles, okay? So in 6 hours, this is how far they traveled, okay? So here's our complete sentence. in 6 hours. Adam's plane traveled 2,250 miles. That's pretty far in 6 hours on a plane. All right, so there's your complete sentence. I'm gonna let you look at that for a second because I'm gonna go over another one. Okay, let's look at number 3. It says another salt marsh harvest mouse took 7 seconds to run a 350 centimeter race. So how fast did it run? So what do they give us? They give us time and they give us the rate. I apologize. They give us the time and the distance. All right. So what do we need to do with those in order to find the rate is divide. Okay. So here's how it's going to look. R equals dt. Anybody recognize this as a fraction? Okay. What do we do with fractions? Ultimately, what are fractions saying? It's a piece of, it's a part of, meaning it's divided. This little line right here means divide. I say it all the time. It looks a lot like this. You put some on top, some on the bottom, you divide. It also looks like a fraction. Okay. So I'm gonna read it again. A salt marsh harvest mouse ran a 360 centimeter straight course in 9 seconds. How fast did it run? Okay. So we have our formula. Let me get rid of this because that's not part of it. All right. So we have our formula. Now we have to fill it in with what they gave us. Okay. So we got R, because we don't know it yet, equals. So what was the distance? The distance was 360 centimeters. So we need to make sure that we put our units there, 360 centimeters, okay? And what else did they give us? They give us time. What was the time? It was 9, and the unit was seconds, okay? Uh-oh, seconds. Okay, so here's how your formula should be set up after you fill it in. So R equals distance divided by time. R equals our distance, which is 360 centimeters, divided by our time, which was 9 seconds, okay? So now we should go ahead and divide. I'm gonna delete this and set up our long division problem, okay? Okay, so we have 360 divided by 9, okay? So this should be pretty straightforward, but I'm gonna walk you through it, okay? So we have 9 going into 3. Does not work. But does 9 go into 36? Yes, it does. 4 times. 4 exactly 36. 36 minus 36 is 0. And we know that 9 cannot go into 0. So our next step is to bring our 0 down. And so we're stuck with 0 again. And so since we know that 9 can go into 0, we put our 0 up top. So 360 divided by 9 is 40. Here's how you check. Take your 40, multiply it by your 9. So we have 9 times nothing, is nothing. 9 times 4 is 36. Excellent. So we're correct. All right. So when they wanna set it up, this is how it's gonna look. It's gonna look like 40, okay, centimeters per second, okay? All right. Have a good night.